Hey, what goes on YouTube? Happy holidays and welcome to This About Action Figures. As I introduce my channel's first ever top 10 list, the top 10 GI Joe classified figures of 2020. Before I get started, please subscribe, like, and comment as I provide weekly hunt videos, and I'll be posting further top 10 of 2020 videos in the next few weeks. Now, let's get on to the rules of my top 10 of 2020 for GI Joe classified series. As always, just like other top 10 lists for every year, these are my personal opinions that I'm sharing and would appreciate hearing what your thoughts are as well. Please let me know in the comments below what your opinions are on the first year of GI Joe classified series. What are your best and worst figures of 2020? And what figures are you looking forward to the most in 2021? In order for a figure to be in my top 10, I have to have actually purchased it this year. I decided I was not going to be a completionist with this line. Therefore, the ones I left in the store are not eligible for my top 10. Beyond that, I'm basing my personal list on the figure's attributes, the personal fun factor that I got out of it, and even the experiences I had tracking them down. As you know, this line was very difficult to track down many times this year, and just finding them was half the fun and half the battle. Pun intended. Now, let's talk about some figures I left behind. So, as we take a look at Team Cobra of 2020, I'd like to take a moment just to talk about the figures I did not pick up in the GI Joe classified line this year. So, for various reasons, I did not pick up Snake Supreme Cobra Commander Hasbro Pulse exclusive. I passed on the Snake Eyes Hasbro Pulse exclusive number 0. I passed on the Arctic Storm Shadow Amazon exclusive because I'm waiting for the actual Storm Shadow. I passed on Roadblock Cobra Island Target exclusive, and finally Scarlet Wave 1. Essentially, for reasons that vary from availability, price, or interest level, I decided to pass on these figures. Feel free to let me know down in the comments if you feel these figures deserve to be on my shelf and why. Try to convince me to buy them. Now, let's move on to the first of my 2 honorable mentions of 2020. And now, on to honorable mention number 1, the Cobra Commander Regal Hasbro Pulse exclusive figure. I just had this figure arrive from Pulse the week of Christmas, and I love it. This figure was created out of the summer pre-ordering debacle from the network app, where the app, known more for exclusive shoe and clothing drops, dipped their toe into the action figure game. The only problem was that Hasbro sent them the incorrect painted product sample, and this figure was pictured for pre-order when it was supposed to be the eventual dark blue general release. Along with massive outages of the app's effectiveness, collectors instantly lost their minds when the picture was amended in the final moments to show what they were actually selling was not what they wanted. It later went up in the summer as a Hasbro Pulse exclusive with a 1-month order window. I'm very happy to have it in the collection, but based on the fact it is a repaint of the Wave 2 figure and the process it took to get it, Regal Blue Cobra Commander lands on my honorable mention list. Now on to my second honorable mention figure. And now for honorable mention number 2, Prophet Director Destro, which was a fan channel exclusive in 2020. The minute I saw this figure solicited, I knew I needed it on my shelf. Although it is a repaint of the Wave 1 Destro, it comes with almost shockingly hard to believe accessories such as the burning money, the sunglasses, and a crazy cape. It's a riff on an old GI Joe 3 3/4 inch Pimp Daddy Destro figure, which makes it even more amazing that we can get a figure this specialized in the year 1 of the line. I reserved my top 10 figures for figures available in general releases in stores. But don't get me wrong, this figure is crazy and should definitely belong in your classified collection if you can get him. Now, onto my top 10 GI Joe classified series figures of 2020. And now, on the number 10, Roadblock from Wave 1. Coming at the bottom of the list is Roadblock. So, why does he fall so low on my list, you ask? Perhaps it's that I feel there's some wasted potential here that wasn't quite met for this guy. He's a classic character from the cartoon, which I love, but I can't get past that giant space-like laser gun that he was given as an accessory. I understand the entire avoid realistic guns deal with Hasbro generally with these figures, I truly do. However, that withstanding, I cannot get myself to really love this figure. It doesn't help that he is an apparent peg warmer for this wave. He's still at all the Walmarts that I go to, which means I probably could have played the long game and scored him on clearance somewhere in January for about 10 bucks. I believe his repaint figure will be hitting stores sometime soon, but it won't be enough of a change for me to want to pick that up either. Either way, I'm still glad it's on my list, and I'm glad it's on my shelf. Now on to number 9. Landing at number 9 is the Wave 2 figure, Gung Ho. I believe this is on the same body as Roadblock, which doesn't actually exactly hurt this figure, but some of the inaccuracies do. For instance, it's been discussed that he's not wearing the correct cover or hat with him as an accessory. Also, my specific figure suffers from a case of the floppies, which makes it hard at times for him to stand and pose. Definitely glad he's involved in year 1, but I feel he's on the right end of my top 10 list. On a side note, if you'd like to get better accessories for this figure that actually match his actual branch in the military, check out Bobby Vala's Valaverse over on Big Bad Toy Store or on YouTube, as he's putting out an accessory pack to go along with Gung Ho in order to make him more accurate to the actual cartoon to match his branch in the military and the figure in the cartoon. Now, let's move on to number 8. Now, moving along to number 8 is the Wave 1 Duke figure. It's just something with these Wave 1 figures and the way they are painted that doesn't quite sit well with me. I understand that they were decoed to resemble the figures from the video game release recently, but that doesn't mean I just have to necessarily love the figure and give it a pass. Again, it's an essential figure to have early on in the line, but I just can't help but feel there'll be a more cartoon-accurate version down the road released that's going to make me want to replace this guy on my shelf with that one. On a positive note, I really did enjoy the accessories with Duke significantly more than I did with the Roadblock release. Also, it must be said that Hasbro did do a great overall job packing these figures with various accessories, even if some weren't perfect. I really liked the backpack accessories the most with every figure, because it really gave you a sense of the nostalgia feel from the original 3 3/4 line. Now let's move along to number 7. Number 7 on my top 10 list is Wayne Beachhead Sneeden, which was a Cobra Island Target exclusive release. Okay, let's get this out of the way right now. The words GI Joe, Target, exclusive, and sold out are words that probably can be compared to the 4 horsemen death, famine, pestilence, and war among the collectors community in the 2020 year. Yes, it was almost impossible to track down these figures on the pegs, and yes, it required a lot of hunting to find them. However, if you managed to find them or paid premium to get these figures, they were fantastic. Coming in at number 7 as the first Cobra Island figure on my list, I really enjoyed how cartoon accurate this figure came across as. I liked the removable beret accessory, although I wasn't a big fan of the plastic green colors for the weapons. Still a great figure in the line, and we really hope he gets a repaint and a reissue as a general release down the road so more collectors can have a version of him on their shelf. Don't worry, there's more Cobra Island coming later on in the top 10. Now let's check out figure number 6 on my top 10. Coming in here just slightly of the top 5 at number 6 is the general release Cobra Commander Wave 2 figure. I just happened to be walking to a Target one day to buy groceries, not even looking to toy hunt, haven't checked Pop Finder or anything, and came across a Cobra Commander and Gung Ho Wave 2 super early in the release window, which is one of the most pleasant hunting surprises of the year for me. As stated in the intro, many times the experience finding or not finding a figure will impact my thoughts regarding it, and this one definitely has a positive memory associated with it. I originally was going to pass on this version since I had the Regal Light Blue ordered on Hasbro Pulse, but I decided to pick it up and it really grew on me. As all 3 versions of Cobra Commander have, I really enjoy the pointing hand to constantly have him screaming at his insubordinates. Also, the darker color does match well with the other Cobra figures in the wave. Something needs to be said regarding 3 variations of Cobra Commander all in year 1, but I guess since the other 2 were exclusive, it means you managed to at least get one, and you were missing out on other figures that were released. As a classic action figure villain, at least one version of him definitely belongs on your shelf. So number 6, Cobra Commander. Now, let's move on to the top 5 GI Joe classified figures on my list for 2020. As we enter the top 5, the first entry in this half of the list is the Cobra Red Ninja. I absolutely loved this figure. It came on the Snake Eyes body, which was a great base, and it had a ton of ninja accessories that could nearly all be stored or held in some capacity with the figure. Additionally, another great kudos to Hasbro on this line overall is the storage capacity with the figures. It is great being able to have your figure hold or store its weapons, eliminating the likelihood of losing them in a bin somewhere. Red Ninja also was an army builder, which are personal loves of mine in my collection for various lines. However, that was a double-edged sword, as Hasbro made the decision to make this the single pack figure in the wave, instead deciding to go with multiple Cobra Commanders and Gung Ho's, making this ninja much harder to locate. I managed to grab 2 at Target and a random one at Walgreens, and I never saw them on the peg again. I feel this is a really great ninja figure for any line, and honestly feel it's a better looking option than the upcoming Marvel Legends hand ninja release that's in the Spider-Man wave. But until I can do a side-by-side, we'll have to wait and see. So, number 5, GI Joe Classified Series Red Ninja. Now, let's check out number 4. And now, on to number 4, Destro from Wave 1. This was easily one of the figures I was most excited about to have in hand when I first saw the solicitation for GI Joe Classified. There's just something about that chrome head sculpt that makes this figure pop on the shelf. And along with the great accessories, including the briefcase, I was immediately sold that I needed it. Later, a second variant of this figure was released that had a slightly different head sculpt, as it did not have the oval shape on the top of the head and instead was smooth. So check yours and see which one you have in your collection. Additionally, as I mentioned, the story of the acquisition of the figure always plays into my affinity for it. I was fortunate enough to find this, along with all of Wave 1, incredibly early by finding it at a Target by using Pop Finder and the DPCI in the store. I was able to snag both this and one other figure listed later in this top 10 at the same time, which was another one of the highlights of my hunting year. Finally, he makes the Cobra section of the shelf really come together. Number 4, Destro from Cobra. And now on the number 3, Baroness, along with the Coil Cobra motorcycle, Cobra Island Target exclusive. I'm guessing this figure will bring a lot of hate in the comments based upon how difficult it was to track down and the amount of money it's going for on the aftermarket. I had a fellow collector pick one up for me at the beginning. However, I also completely lucked out twice on 2 separate occasions seeing this on the pegs at different Targets. The Baroness herself is just a straight up great looking figure. I feel she's pretty much a spot on version from the cartoon, and I can't wait until we get different painted versions such as a white paint job. She looks amazing with either version of Destro and also with other Cobra figures. The Coil bike is also a decent piece, as it comes with the guns as accessories that the Baroness can either hold or store on the bike sides. Baroness's belt and holsters were very well done, right down to the way the gold-painted guns store on the figure. I know it was and is hard to come by, but I feel it'll be released as a single feature down the road, so stay patient on this one and play the long game and don't pay that scalper price on eBay. Number 3, the Baroness. Coming in at number 2, Cobra Trooper, Cobra Island Target exclusive. The figure that's caused more hunts, angry collectors, pissed off Target employees, and price gouging to occur than possibly any other action figure this collecting year. Let's get this straight and out of the way. It's an army builder. Yes, I have 4. I saw an entire case and I took 3, leaving the rest for other collectors, and on a separate occasion found 2 others, having kept 1 for my 4th figure and hooking up a fellow collector with the other one at cost. I hunted about 8 Targets in a weekend to find them, so trust me, the effort was there. Putting the rare nature of the figure aside, this figure almost made my number 1 slot, and honestly it's more of a 1B than a number 2 when I stop and think about it. The accessories allowing to make various versions of the same figure are absolutely amazing. The helmet and goggles are game changers in the army building realm. The storage for all the weapons is second to none this year. I absolutely love the blue and black color, and can't help but want to watch the cartoon right now to see the numerous unnamed Cobra Troopers getting smoked by the Joes. The Cobra symbols throughout the figure are extremely well done, and last but not least, the articulation leads to great posing potential on your shelf. Finally, Hasbro turned around and released a similar looking figure in the next wave coming up this year, just minus the numerous accessories. This allows you to build as many as you want in your army, and you can even pre-order them ahead of time. I plan to pick up a few more of this version as well, as this may be my favorite action figure army builder of all time. Number 2, Cobra Trooper, Cobra Island Target exclusive. Now, let's see what's at number 1. And finally, coming in at number 1, Snake Eyes, Wave 1 version. Come on, how couldn't I? Snake Eyes, perhaps one of the, if not the most, popular action figures of all time, had to be number 1 on my list for 2020, which honestly at this point I consider the year of the Joe. He looks perfect. I know there are subtle paint differences between the general release and the Hasbro Pulse exclusive, such as the color of the visor and some of the red, but I still absolutely love this figure. The weapons in the general release are still great, even if one of the guns has that giant and strange hole in it. I love the silencer for his sidearm, and the sword is definitely on point. Again, the storage is great, and the articulation is just amazing. I can only hope that articulation like this could be used as a base body in the Marvel Legends line somewhere down the road. He looks amazing posed with other lines, whether he's battling Hydra or AIM troopers, or against army builders in its own line, including the Red Ninjas or Cobra Troopers. This was the figure I wanted in 2020, and was easily the most excited when I found him on the shelf early this past summer at Target. So in closing, despite the availability issues, I honestly feel GI Joe Classified is the line of 2020 for this price point of figures. Whether it was positive or negative, the line and its figures were constantly a topic of discussion on podcasts and YouTube videos of collectors. Couple that with the soon-to-be released in January Target exclusives and eventual new wave consisting of Zartan, Flint, Lady J, and Major Blood, this line has been a welcome blast of nostalgia into my action figure collection. I highly suggest this line to new and current collectors, as it's not too late to get in on this year-old line and still pick a majority of the non-exclusive figures at a decent price. Please subscribe, comment, and like, and share this video and other videos on my channel. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram at disabout_12, as I have daily toy hunt content and photos posted, and I'm trying to grow both platforms in 2020. Let me know below in the comments what your favorite shows of the year were, or if you disliked them and why. Please check out my upcoming 2020 Top 10 videos on Marvel Legends and overall action figures of the year. They'll be posted in the next few weeks. Have a safe and happy new year, and I'll be seeing all of you at the pegs.